Hello and welcome back. This is Peter Beckenham, the Village Marketer. This LinkedIn sales and lead generation program is all about creating engaged conversations with our new connections. So whatever you do, don't let your own beliefs, your life's experiences, and your ego get in the way of interpreting what the other person is trying to say. Welcome to LinkedIn Lead Strategies, because now I want to move into some of the psychology and the strategies for selling well on LinkedIn. Now, the number one mistake I see people making on LinkedIn many times when they're trying to use it to sell their products and services is they immediately try to marry someone on the first date. They connect and immediately trying to sell people, or they connect and they're immediately trying to ask people for their time, or ask people for a phone call, or ask people for a coffee meeting, or ask if they can have a free demo. Way too soon, right? You can't marry someone on the first date. There needs to be some professional courtship involved. And especially now, we live in an era where everyone is so busy, everyone is so engaged, everyone is running 100 million miles an hour in the marketplace, everybody is distrusting, and there's a lot of skepticism out there. You just can't ask people for their time and attention. You actually have to earn it. You have to earn the right. You have to earn the right to ask for someone's time and attention. Yes, you do. You really have to earn it. People are not just going to give you 15 minutes of their day anymore, especially if they've never met you or they're just connected with you on LinkedIn. But all is not lost. The way you earn someone's time, the way you purchase their attention, is with your content. Your content is your currency. Your content that you create, that free content that we talked about just recently, that's the currency you can use. You can use it to buy the time, attention, and interest of your potential leads online. And because if we use the cookie baking analogy, for example, then you're baking the exact type of chocolate chip cookie that this exact person loves to eat, right? You know your target audience will love your particular chocolate cookies, right? Whatever it may be, because they're going to love them, they're going to think they're delicious, and be quite frank with you, it'll be very easy to buy their time and attention with that sort of content. So make sure it's fully targeted to your audience, right? Because if it's targeted, because if it's focused, because it's exactly what the person's looking for to help themselves get the goals they want. Another key mistake that I see people making on LinkedIn and online in general is way too many people are claiming authority. Way too many people are claiming they're the ninja. Way too many people are claiming they're the guru. They're the expert. They're claiming they can do all sorts of things for you. But what's needed is not people claiming. What we want you to do is to demonstrate your authority, to demonstrate your expertise, to demonstrate whatever it is you've got, right? Forget about trying to claim anything. Simply demonstrate to people you've got the expertise, the authority, and the way to help them. That's what I want you to do, and that's exactly what your free content is going to do, because I'm going to walk you through in the next few videos how to create great content in an easy way as well, that will make you the authority, that will position you as the expert. Now, okay, it's not overwhelming. Don't get freaked out about it, okay? But I want you to demonstrate your expertise. I want you to demonstrate your credibility. I want you to demonstrate your authority first before you ever ask for a thing from people. Because when you do it, this way people will know you, they will like you, they will trust you, they will respect you because you've demonstrated you're good. You've demonstrated you can help them. You've demonstrated you can get them results and benefits. You've demonstrated you can help them achieve the goals they've been dreaming about, okay? Anyone can claim it, right? We've all been burnt by people who claim they could get us 1 million email subscribers in a week, right? Or claim they could help us make millions on Facebook. Or claim they could help us lose 50 pounds in just 3 short weeks, or whatever is right. But whenever somebody demonstrates their authority, when someone gets to know us and personalizes the engagement, which is so easy to do on LinkedIn, and which I'm going to show you how to do anyway, when you can do that, okay, when you can actually demonstrate what you can do to help people, then people will definitely get to know, like, and trust you very, very quickly. And of course, when they do that, they'll also want to buy from you. So one of the key sales strategies on LinkedIn is definitely that, demonstrating what you can do. And that's where demonstrating comes into play. It positions you as an authority, positions you as an expert. It lets you charge more money, right? Because you clearly demonstrated you're darn good. You've already shared incredible wisdom and insight, maybe in a post, for example, or with the free content you've already given them. And this is very valuable to your potential leads, your potential clients, okay? And of course, the more value you can create and give to people, even if it's free, the more you can charge later on. You can charge more because you're the real deal. You've proved it to them. You've demonstrated it to them. They expect you to be the person who can do that then. They know, like, trust and respect you. And this really dovetails into another core strategy, which is the ask that you make of someone has to be in direct proportion to the amount of trust you've earned to this point. All right? Let me repeat that, because this is key. Your ask has to equal the amount of trust you've earned to this point. So let's put this in simple words. If I just connected with you on LinkedIn, you'd never met me before, I can't ask you immediately to buy a $3,000 or a $5,000 coaching program, right? Like you think, what, are you crazy? I don't even know who you are. I don't know you. Now I don't even like you, and I certainly don't trust you when you do that to me, right? That's a reaction you're going to get from people if you do it too quickly. I mean, they'd be thinking, you just don't throw testimonials at me. You just can't throw sales pitches at me. You don't even know me. You don't even know what I want. This is the sort of thing that we all feel when people come on too quickly, too strong, in the wrong way, okay? You need to earn the trust. You need to earn the right. Make sense now? So in your head, you're thinking, with your new potential leads and prospects, you've got to warm them up. Okay, you've got to warm up your prospects. You've got to earn some trust with them. You've got to earn some credibility with them. So that's where your free content comes into play. That's why it's critical. Does that make more sense now? So think of it this way. Let's say you want to sell your product to a targeted audience. And let's say you sell leadership coaching. If we just connected on LinkedIn, the first thing you're going to ask me for is not your time, it's not your attention, it's not your money. I'm going to ask you if you would like to consume a bit of free content that has a headline that says 3 ways leaders can stay focused and energized in times of rapid change. Well, if you're a leadership coach, then that may very well attract you, right? Because you could be interested in that topic, or you may be an aspiring leader and that's something that really fascinates you. So if I tell you or message you, hey, I wrote a post specifically for you as a leader, giving you some free advice on how to stay energized and focused, well, that is an easy ask for your potential lead, right? There's not a lot of risk involved for the person who's got leadership interests to check out the post, right? You haven't asked for a thing other than I thought you might find this helpful, and that's very acceptable. I mean, you're not asking them to buy anything yet, and that's what I'm talking about. Now, if you want someone to buy a more expensive program or a product, you've got to earn that trust, right? And the more expensive the program, the more trust and credibility and authority and respect needs to be there. It's got to be earned over time with the content you create and the engagement and the messaging and the conversations you hold. All works together. So, for example, if you do a great 45-minute webinar where you really just share incredible strategies and tips and advice and people can see and get a bunch of quick wins from it, then you probably earn the right to ask them to buy a $3,000 or a $5,000 training or coaching program because you earned it. You've proved it. You've demonstrated, not just claimed it. Does it make sense now? So there's a difference in the type of content you create and how much trust it earns. The more trust and the more value your content can bring to somebody, the higher your ask can be. Now, another key strategy, and yeah, I know I've screamed this from the mountaintops already, but I'm going to scream it one more time because it's so important you'd never forget this. The riches are in the niches. With selling on LinkedIn, the psychologies, the strategies, it all has to be niched, targeted, hyper-focused on someone based on their job title, their industry type, their location, whatever it may be. It's got to be niched, right? You really want to understand how to leverage this data that LinkedIn gives you. If LinkedIn tells me, for example, that this is a business coach in Staten Island, New York, then I want to create a piece of content that says how business coaches in Staten Island, New York can get more sales using LinkedIn, right? I want it to be that targeted. I want it to be that niched and hyper-focused. The riches are in the niches, okay? And of course, people love when you're appealing to them. They love when they feel like, wow, you're all about me. You know about my world. You understand my world. You know my industry. You specialize in my area. You specialize in my industry. You can understand where I'm coming from. You really know my challenges. You really understand me and you know my blockages. And it's even better if you've got success stories and case studies and testimonials from people in that person's industry. Your content is then written especially for people in that person's industry, and they feel, wow, you are just the person I need to talk to. Wow, where have you been? I needed someone like you a long time ago. Now, of course, you've got your product or your services, and you know that can work for many people, not just a specific niche, right? We all know that. But when you make these subtle twists, these subtle shifts that really help it appeal to a specific target audience, then you are ramming the message home in a very, very effective way. Your content becomes almost irresistible. And think about it. I mean, it could be just as simple as putting their job title in the headline of your blog. That could be enough to get them excited to read it, and that's the key. The riches are in the niches, right? Now, this leads me to my last big strategy point before we dive deeper into some of these concepts. Your headlines are everything. And yes, we're going to spend a lot of time on writing great headlines and how to really capture people's attention. But just for now, understand this strategy point. With any kind of content you create, whether it's an ebook or a video or a blog post or a webinar or a podcast, if it has a boring headline or a confusing headline, people are not going to consume it. I mean, you may put blood, sweat and tears into creating the greatest blog post ever, loaded with tips, super helpful, but if it's got a bad headline, no one's ever going to read it. And your genius will go completely unrewarded, my friends. So that's why we're going to walk through in the videos to come how to create killer headlines, how to really capture people's attention. But right now, before we finish, I want to share with you the ideal headline formula that you can use in any niche, any audience, anywhere on LinkedIn. And here it is. It's got 3 components. Here's the magic headline formula I want you to remember. Your target audience name, plus your service, plus the benefit they want. You can't go wrong with your headline if your headline has these 3 components. The target audience name is in it, the service that you want to eventually sell them is in it, and then a benefit they want or something they'll achieve is also in the headline. So let me break this down for you. Let's say I sell online video services, animated marketing videos or something like that, right? I want to target a niche audience. Let's say I want to sell to chiropractors. So I'd create a headline that says 3 ways chiropractors can leverage online video to land new patients. Okay, 3 ways chiropractors can leverage online video to land new patients. Now let's break that headline down for a minute. If you look at it, the chiropractor in blue here, that's the target audience, right? The online video in purple is the service that I want to sell to them, well, eventually anyway, right? And the benefit they want is in red, landing new patients. Do you see this now? Do you see the magic of this formula, right? You're talking about your target audience, you're putting their name in the headline, which is, for example, in this case, chiropractors. You're talking about your service, right? Which in this case is online video. And most importantly, you're talking about a benefit they want, which is getting new patients. Now, you're not going to create content that's salesy and just a blatant advertisement, right? And I'll walk you through how to do this. But understand just for now how critical this 3-part headline formula is. So now, as you finish up in this video, I want to mention that I've created for you a PDF, LinkedIn Sales Funnel Steps and Strategies. It's going to highlight what we talked about in this video, okay? It's going to have that list of at least 8 steps for a sales funnel. It's going to have the key strategies we talked about, and it's going to have that headline formula we just talked about then. I want you to download it, I want you to print it out and keep it handy, because every time you're setting up a new sales funnel on LinkedIn, every time you're creating content, every time you're targeting an audience, you're going to want to be following these steps and remembering these strategies. So download the PDF, keep it handy, it's a great reminder for you, and when you're ready, we'll get on to the next video.